Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Luke Mick here, and this is my review for All Is Lost. So All Is Lost stars Robert Redford, and really only Robert Redford. He's the only other person you see in this movie, and I thought that was pretty cool. And it's about a sailor who is played by Robert Redford. I don't think you ever really get to know his name or really that much about him, who just sails the seas for a living. He probably doesn't have much family left, probably doesn't have many friends, so he has a boat, and he just sails around the ocean, and he kind of gets into a little bit of a predicament. He hits a shipping container, and it puts a hole in the side of his boat, and obviously water is getting in. He patches it up a bit, but then other stuff happens along the way, and this whole chain reaction of very unfortunate events occurs upon him. That's a good synopsis for the movie. I hope you guys can appreciate that synopsis. That's what the movie is about, and did I like it? Yeah, I like the movie quite a bit. Robert Redford as the sailor was very, very, very good. His performance was just great. Even though he didn't say a lot, there was almost no dialogue whatsoever. You could just tell by the look on his face that he was a weathered old man, and especially by the end of everything that had been happening along the way, he was beaten up. You know, you could just tell that he'd had enough. And this movie is kind of reminiscent of Life of Pi. It's sort of similar. I mean, Life of Pi is definitely more of a visual eye candy fest, you could say. But All Is Lost, they're very similar, but there's no tiger on the boat. I don't know. It's just the same sort of stranded at sea. Things are not going very well. Big storms are coming in kind of movie. And yeah, I really like the way the movie is directed. It uses some shaky cam and stuff, but it's all good. It kind of reminded me a lot of Captain Phillips, actually. So I thought it was directed very well by some guy, J.C. Chandor. I don't really know his name. I will say that some parts it did slow down a bit and got a little bit predictable because, I mean, you can kind of tell when something's happening, but you know, it was always kind of, it kind of made my heart race every time you'd hear thunder or something in the movie because it was all so quiet, and then you think you hear a little thing of thunder and Robert Redford would kind of look up, and then you look over, you hear big thunder, and there's a bunch of clouds coming in. It was kind of suspenseful in that aspect, but yeah, it does get a little slow at some parts. It runs at almost 2 hours long, and that's kind of a long time to go without really much dialogue. But overall, I thought it was just a very beautiful movie. It looked really good. The cinematography was just amazing. Robert Redford was so good as the sailor. It was interesting. It did slow down a little bit, but overall, I thought it was really good. So I'm going to give it 4 to 5 stars. Now, this is for any of you guys who have not seen the movie yet. This is going to be a bit of a spoiler alert, so just beware, spoiler alert. I want to talk about the end of the movie and just kind of my take on what happened at the end, because I'll just explain what happens at the end. So if you haven't watched the movie, please leave right now and then come back and watch this once you've seen the movie. So, at the end of the movie, he is just totally done with everything. He sees a little boat just over there, and he's going to try to get their attention, but all he can really do is start a fire on his life raft. And what he does is he gets the fire too big, and the whole raft burns down. He has to jump into the water, and you see him floating down to the water, and you think, oh, he's giving up. Those people aren't going to notice the flaming lifeboat there, and he's just going to drown. So he's floating to the bottom of the sea, and you look up and you see the life raft burning and everything up above him when he's sinking down, and then you see the boat coming to go see what's going on, and they're looking for him in the water, and he notices it right as he's about to just reach the bottom and just never come back up again, and he swims up to the top, and the last thing you see in the movie is someone's arm going down into the water and pulling him up. That's the last thing you see, and I think most people look at that as probably just he was saved, you know, and that was pretty much it. But I am looking at it from more of a religious standpoint. Now, I'm not religious at all. I just am not, so I'm not. This is just the way I interpret it and the way that I think the kind of symbolism, I guess you could say. Basically, what I think actually happened was he fell into the water and he was sinking down to the deep below. He was just maybe to hell. I don't really know, because the life raft, when it's on fire, looks like the red ring of fire. I mean, it looks like Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, so I've always interpreted that as hell or something to do with hell. So he's going down and he's sinking, and you know, it gets to the point where you just pretty much cannot see him at all. And then you see the part where someone's hand reaches down and pulls him up. I think that kind of symbolizes God taking him into heaven. That's just the way I looked at it. That's kind of what I maybe thought the filmmakers were trying to show us, just that sort of symbolism. But that's kind of the way I interpreted it. That's what I think actually happened. I think he died but went to heaven. Do I believe that? Well, no, but I think that's the way the filmmakers wanted us to look at it. So anyways, guys, this is Luke Mick. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later.